Thunder Dave Steinman claims to have invented Mio Energy and to therefore be the natural choice for spokesperson of the brand.
Mio Energy is the greatest source of energy ever discovered.
Just hit the tag for me. Personal, portable Mio Energy.
I just went on a vision quest.
You're 37 years old right now. Did you ever have a point where you're like, oh, why am I putting myself through this at this point? Like, I could be doing so much. I've made my money. I'm a famous guy. I could probably translate that into something else. I mean, did you ever have that breaking down moment where you were like, I don't really know if I want to put myself through this again?
Well, I'll say this much, Earl. I love what I do for a living. And, you know, I did the card when we were on, I did Fuel TV,
right.
the analyst card.
Yeah, UFC 144, right.
Yeah, it was the Japan card. And I did that, and I enjoy doing something like that. But quite honestly, to sit behind that desk, I'm not ready for that phase of life yet. And it just, as I was sitting there prepping that, I'm thinking to myself, man, it's fun to do something like this occasionally, but if I had to do this as a full-time job, 40 hours a week, I'm not ready for that. And I enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy training. I enjoy competing. But to say that I don't have days where I go to the gym, I went to the gym this morning. I was at the power station doing my conditioning routine, and I do that twice a week, and it's two of the hardest workouts that I put myself through. And sometimes midway through that workout, I think to myself, like, why am I doing this? So it's not that you don't have those moments when you're pushing yourself beyond anything that any normal human ever pushes themselves beyond. It's just that at the end of the day, I tweeted this out one time. I hate quitting more than I hate giving up. So I just don't like quitting. That's all. So I do what I do, and I do what I love.
How many more years do you want to do this for, though?
I don't know. I get asked that all the time, and I do realize now. I'll say this: probably about 2-3 years ago, I started getting asked about retirement, and it was completely to me like, "What are you guys talking about?" I'm 35 years old or whatever. But now that I've been asked about it pretty much in every single interview since then, I'm kind of conditioned to understand that retirement is sometime in the near future. I don't have a date. I don't plan on fighting into my 40s, but I do believe that I'm just one of those people, Ariel, that'll wake up one day and say, you know what? I've had enough. I've done enough, and I'm good.
Have you thought about, the latest craze in MMA is TRT? Have you thought about doing that to try to prolong your career?
Yeah, I mean, I've kicked around that idea and everything, and naturally, I've talked to the doctors over at that work with the UFC and the Athletic Commission in Nevada and all that kind of stuff, and at 37, my count obviously is not what it was when I was 25. And I'm a candidate for that kind of stuff, and I haven't started yet. But I'm not sure if that's something that I want to do or how I want to approach that, because TRT is once you start that process, it's a permanent fixture. Once you start putting those hormones in your body, the synthetic hormones, then your body is not going to produce its own hormones anymore, and so you really have to think carefully. I mean, my levels are still decently healthy for a male, but they're not high enough to continue a prolonged career at a top level for many more years.
Do you think there are guys that are abusing this, that there are guys in their early 30s that don't need this stuff yet are finding a way to actually put it in their body?
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, any system that you have, there are gonna be people that know how to beat the system. It's out there. And so I'm sure that there are people that find ways around things and cheating and all that kind of stuff, but that's just a natural thing, The only way to really, really, really cure something like that is to have a 100% zero tolerance policy on these kinds of things. But it's just impossible across the board, because this is how sports operate.